Hello and welcome everyone to the Friday, December 15th edition of the Contributor Comms team meeting. This is our last meeting of the year, so welcome and congratulations on completing 2023. And we will be back with our regular meetings in 2024, our regular weekly meetings. We're excited to have you here. As a reminder, we do operate under a code of conduct, which essentially says to be respectful of your fellow speakers and attendees and generally be excellent to each other. And at this point, we usually like to offer a chance for anyone who's new to the call to say hello and introduce themselves. You can unmute and say hello, or you can type in chat. Totally optional, but I will leave that open for a minute now.
I would like to suggest that everybody introduces themselves, whether or not they are new, because it's really intimidating for new people to come in and have that said to them and have no idea who anyone else is who won't introduce themselves.
True.
I can go first unless you want to, Ian.
Sure. Hi, my name is Ian Coldwater. I am a new shadow in the Contributor Comms team, and I'm very happy to be here. Hi, everybody.
I'm Chris Short. I am a co-lead with Caslin of this wonderful communications group, and I work at AWS, and yeah, Caslin.
I'm Caslin. I'm a subproject lead of this group, also a co-chair of SIG ContribEx. Also technically social media lead, so hoping Ian get up to speed on that. Frederico.
Hello, so I'm Fred, and I'm the blog coordinator for SIG ContribEx Comms. And that's it for.
Next person on my list is Sundapan. I'll call people.
Hey everyone, my name is Sundipan. I have been involved in the computer comms team for some time now, just trying to be helpful. I would like to Arpit to go next. Arpit?
Yep. So my name is Arpit. I have been involved in the comms for past 1 year, and I am basically a shadow under Kathleen for social media stuff, and it's been pretty awesome till date. Next, I think Nitish will go.
Nitish looks like he's unmuted, but I don't hear him. May have a hardware mute going on or something.
Hello.
Hello.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Rujwal, and I have no idea what's going on here.
Welcome. Yay.
I feel ya.
What a wonderful introduction. I love it.
I am new. I've just contributed once, so I have no idea.
Cool.
Excellent.
Welcome.
We love to have new folks. Welcome.
Yes.
I'll do a little review of this group as we're getting started here at the last meeting of the year. So this is the communications sub-project of the special interest group for contributor experience. So the main idea of our group is that we help the contributor community understand what's going on and also help spread the word about the awesome work that contributors are doing. So we have a regular project that folks are always welcome to contribute to, which is a good first project if you want something to actively pick up, which is doing SIG Spotlight blog posts, where one of our members will interview a SIG lead from a different special interest group within Kubernetes, learn about what their special interest group does, and then write up a blog post about it to spread the word. So that's a recurring project. We also have a number of other projects. We have one account on Twitter. Do we have 2 accounts on Twitter? I don't know. Still waiting on news from that. But we have the Kate's contributors account on Twitter, which is meant to be another way for us to communicate with contributors to the project. We also help with emails around special events that the community is doing, like the contributor summits at KubeCon. yeah, all sorts of stuff around how we communicate within the contributor community and to some degree without. Hopefully that's helpful.
Yeah.
Cool. So with that, shall we dive into our agenda for today
Sure.
before we get started? Cool. And this is a very casual meeting. Feel free to pop in with questions or type in the chat with questions or interrupt at any time. We are all for questions. All right. So our first item on our agenda for
You're
today
sharing
is
your
that this is the
calendar,
last.
by the way.
Oh, shoot.
Sorry. I was like, she didn't even have the tab open.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Zoom screen sharing. It's so fun.
Good thing I don't have any super important meetings this week.
Yes, this is
Uh,
actually my last meeting of the year.
is that still my calendar? Because it's
Yeah. Is it you
oh,
want me
weird.
you
When
want me to
I
try?
when I hit the share, it says that it's the right thing, but it's not actually.
Ooh,
Let me just reorganize things a little bit here.
take your time.
Normally, normally I share my screen so that folks can follow along as I put in notes in the notes. There's the notes link, by the way, so you can also follow along directly. Let me. All right, I had to organize things a little bit. Let me get this out of the way. Oh no, that's the thing that I need, and then this out of the way. Go. Cool. There might be a thing that pops up that says that my computer needs to update because that's a thing that I need to do at some point.
Yeah, I did that earlier this week.
Yeah. All
Yes.
right, so I'll just share full screen. Did it work?
Yes.
Okay. What's up?
All right.
Update your shit. Sorry.
Huh?
Update your stuff. It's important.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Haven't gotten
Yeah.
around to it this week yet. I actually tried to once. It often fails for me.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. I have
Okay.
discovered that it works better if I close all of my Chrome stuff before I attempt an update. I manually close it. Things
That's
tend to go
not
better.
surprising.
Yeah.
All right. I just want to say
Back to
great
your regular.
great work this year, everyone. As a group, we have done amazing things, like truly amazing things. Like, think about the fact that the entire Kubernetes project's core registry moved, and pretty much the world knew about it before it happened. And that is thanks to this group's structure, flexibility, and just people. So it's been an amazing year. We've done some really awesome things. We have Linux packages to move and announce. We have the orange banner up on the Kubernetes IO site right now. But yeah, like so much cool stuff and great things have happened and been generated from this group, from tweets to blog posts to emergencies to you name it. And it's just been awesome, the amount of work we've accomplished. So really proud of this group. I really am.
And also so proud of so many of the members of this group have had really awesome years. You've done a lot of really awesome things. I was seeing several of our members post about completing their LFX mentorships like this week. So congratulations and thank you very much, everyone, for your hard work.
Thank you to everybody that's become an org member this year.
Yeah. Thanks to
Wonderful
everybody
things
who's
to
joined into
celebrate
any
this
of our
group.
meetings.
Yeah, yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. We've had quite a few people just pop in for a meeting or two too, and that's wonderful.
Yeah, no, that's great. I'm the amount of things that this group can now accomplish based on where we started is tremendous. I'll just say that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Hmm.
Awesome. That was our first item, by the way. That is our regularly scheduled program, is pat on the back.
It's our last meeting of the year. It's the right time to say that. I mean, there's
What we
just
do. And
so
cat.
much
Bonus
stuff.
cat.
Bonus bonus gatos.
Is that a 0-day or a patch?
That is a patch.
Like
Much better.
you should do to your stuff.
Less concerning. Yeah, that is true. Good.
0-day, true to his
Aw.
name, almost always hides. I don't know where he is right now.
That's amazing.
Awesome. Such excellent cat names.
Yes,
you.
agreed.
Well
right.
played. And you already mentioned the other thing that I have on the main agenda for today, which is there is a Linux repo shift going on. I think we already helped with some comms around this when it was announced in September.
We did help with the comms, yes.
Yeah, but so what's happening is if you go to kubernetes.io, there's a banner at the top of the site that tells you about it and has a link to more information, which we should put the link in the notes too. But
I got it.
thank you.
Yeah.
But the basic idea is that so we've had a couple of repos, the yum and the apt repos in Linux, where we keep all of the stuff that you need to run Kubernetes, and folks can, get those things through yum and apt-get in Linux, so that they can run their own Kubernetes clusters. But we're changing the repositories where we keep that stuff. So there's a blog post with more details about that. I haven't actually deeply looked into how that works and have not worried about it because I don't do that very much anymore, but I should really look into that. There's a link in the chat if you want to read about it.
Yeah, so there's 2 blog posts. The announcement that they'll be frozen, or they were frozen in September. But
Yes.
it also links to the, post from August, packages.case.io, introducing community-owned package repositories. And in that, they talk about how it's all built and everything else, and deprecations, so forth, so on. But basically, if you're the kind of user that does an apt install, hell, kubectl at this point, I think this is going to impact you. I mean, it'll
I
impact
think
a lot of folks, I think.
it says that the fix is you may need to update your Linux PC. So I think it's something kind of on the back end of these tools where like they need to point at the correct repository.
So, yeah, if you've used Yum or app, you know that they have certain configurations and you add a repository and it's definitely address based. So yeah,
Or there are ones that are like auto added, right? You usually don't
right.
have to add it manually.
No. So yeah, like if Kubernetes was already there, you just need to go edit the Yum or apt configuration accordingly.
Or just upgrade your machine.
Maybe?
It
I
sounds
don't know.
like.
Yeah.
It says you may need to update your Linux PC. So I think if you update your version of Linux to one that has the correct backend.
Yeah,
you'll be okay, probably.
the package creators, or package distributors, I should say. Yeah, they've updated their things in their OSs, but a lot of, think about enterprise customer or enterprise anything really. Updating things is kind of a long process. So yeah, it could be that you have to do these steps manually, where yeah, like you can
There it
see,
is. How to
yeah,
migrate.
there you go. Like, and on the back end, folks have fixed this when you install these various repos. But yeah, the kube admin, that's a big one that comes out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's packages.cates.io and then there's dl.cates.io. And those two are distinct and different things. But packages is what we're specifically talking about here.
ekgs.cates.io.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
And yeah,
there's
Kate SIG
information for how
Infra
to mitigate
created all
it.
this. So if you
Mhm.
want to go look in the Kate's Infra repo to see how all this was done, you can check out their Slack.
So the
channel
important thing
too.
for our group is basic understanding if this is what's happening. They're already frozen, so the old repositories still exist, but they're not getting any new stuff. So anyone who wants to upgrade Kubernetes to something that's not in those repos has already had to upgrade. There is mitigation information already out there. So what we need to do is just make sure that people know about it. So use our social media presence to help promote that this is happening. Hopefully we can get a hold of the other Twitter account so that we can announce it on there. Yeah. Still have not heard anything on that. But yeah, so that's kind of the basic overview of what's going on here. This is happening in January, by the way. The cutover where these will not be available anymore is happening in
Late January, I want to say.
I think they say just says January 2024.
January 2024. Yeah, I'm sure a date has been discussed. Just not sure exactly when.
Yeah, there's supposed to be another blog post coming out as folks were talking in the Slack about that. Also join us on SIG ContribEx comms in the Kubernetes Slack. That's where we do our asynchronous communication. So
Oh no, I have Slack closed. Maybe that's why it's been such a quiet morning.
there you go. Any questions, comments about the Linux repo change? Cool.
So like,
Any
are
questions?
we going to write some tweets or how we are going to like do this apart from like we have a Twitter
Yes.
account, tweet?
I think mainly this will be a Twitter thing. We do want to wait until that new blog post is out, probably, so that we can just share the latest information. So hopefully they'll keep us up to date in Slack. And once that comes out, then we'll need folks to hop on writing tweets.
And
Yeah.
do we have the like that LinkedIn account we are talking about? Like Chris tagged me in an email and that email says like that account doesn't belong to Login.
So where did that last land? It was like I was doing a form on LinkedIn to ask for ownership. I think you
Yeah.
have to do it, Caslin, because it needs a Kubernetes.io email.
We were saying to try using the mailing lists.
Ugh, really?
I know, right? It doesn't make sense to me, but
Wait, which mailing list? Because this is going to be like credential verification.
SIG ContribEx.
I don't
Oh
know if
yeah,
I
if it's
want that
credential.
public. Yeah, no, we don't want to use a public list for that.
For what? I'm sorry, I got distracted by the grocery order showing up.
A linked in form that will, state that, hey, we are trying to take control of this, LinkedIn channel. We have no idea who owns this.
Oh.
We're trying to prove that we should, kind of thing.
Yeah, public email is not great.
No, public email is not great, and it has to come from a Kubernetes.io email.
Yeah.
And I could have sworn I sent you a form.
So I need to handle that. Did you send me the form?
I swear I did. Let me linkedin.com. Let me search for that in Slack. Yep, here we go. Yeah, Caslin might have to submit this. I'll drop the link in here. There's a link for you, Caslin. You get a link. You get a link. Everybody gets a link. Conversations there.
Okay.
But yeah, it's you have to add SIG ContribEx leads to your profile. Fun with that. and do this form. So yeah. Bob said use the leads list for ContribEx. Got it.
Okay,
Yeah, that makes sense then.
cool. So
Well, let me put all
I-
this in here.
yeah, I need to work on that later.
Aslan needs to add blog email.
I'll let it be that comment instead. Okay.
And it'll ask you to verify that that's your email. So that'll be one thing you have to do.
Okay.
God, where'd my mouse go? There it is. All right. And then the form's right here.
Cool.
So yeah.
All right. So I will take over the
Yeah,
business of
like
getting that.
if I were in the leads SIG ContribEx thing, I would do it, but I double checked that I'm not. So yeah.
Yeah. That's okay. We are doing that thing.
Mhm. So one thing for 2024 we should think about is like how much stuff can only the SIG leads do, right? Like that should be like we're here to help y'all, you know? I don't know. I'm sure it's
Well, that is
manageable
something
to
that
a
we are
point.
that is something that we are always thinking about and trying to answer that question.
Right.
We
Yeah.
don't really have an answer ourselves.
Yeah, I didn't think so. But
Such as
yeah.
leadership in open source. It's do what needs to be done. Bug stops here.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, we will. Oh yeah, you all can see my Slack because I'm sharing my whole screen.
Hmm.
So I'll deal with that later. But
Cool.
cool. Thank you for that update. That is useful. Also, there's still no update on Twitter on Kubernetes.io. I told them that I was hoping to get it before the end of the year. What happened with that, for a recap, is we were alerted to Kubernetes.io being dormant right before KubeCon.
Mm-hmm.
And we were told that the CNCF is handing over control of those accounts to the projects, which the CNCF never told us.
Yeah. Of course.
And so steering was like, okay, we'll check with the CNCF about that after KubeCon. And then after KubeCon, everyone was on vacation and then they forgot. That's where we are.
As is life.
And now it's
Yeah.
the holidays, and so probably realistically, we're not going to hear back from anybody until like January, but you know.
But we kind of need to get that, especially with the repo thing that we need to talk about. And then we need to start
Yeah.
talking about KubeCon stuff on there probably. And
I mean, this is a two-step process, Caslin, but it's pretty easy, I feel like.
which one?
The LinkedIn
The LinkedIn. Oh,
take
okay.
control thing. Like
Yeah.
It's the getting the process started that we have to do, I feel like, this year. We can like this can't wait till January, I don't think.
Yeah, we can go ahead and do that one. I was talking about
Mhm.
Twitter.
Yeah,
But
Twitter is just that's all up on CNCF, right? Like
And the steering folks said that they do already have access to the account. So
Huh.
I feel like at some point they should just be like, ta-da,
here you go.
we're calling it good.
Yeah.
Because it's been dormant for almost a year at this point. It's been dormant since April. That's already going to be quite something for us to overcome.
I would encourage steering to at least give you those credentials as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think I'll ping them and have a chat about that
Yeah. Because
after this call.
we definitely want to set up the same automations that we have for the
Maybe
contributors
not.
one.
It's a
I mean,
different audience.
different
which is why we have
audience.
Ian here to help us.
Yeah. Different audience, but same kinds of automation, right? Like we want to make sure end user focused stuff gets out the door just automatically, right? Like
It's true. The blog posts on Kubernetes.io are end user
bingo.
friendly
Yeah.
things. So it would probably make sense to have automation for that. But we have to decide if we want automation to be part of the voice of that account as well.
True.
We have to think about.
Yeah.
Because those are kind of boring tweets. They don't have a lot of
Context.
personality.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's kind of the thing, right? Like
I mean,
Yeah.
we can have both personality and automation. Am I missing something?
Not how it's currently set up. We would have to do a little bit of work with automation to see what we can do there.
I mean, we just got to change the text essentially, right? Like you can put in text before or after the title and link, and off we go, right? Like check out
We would
this.
probably want some form of randomization in there, right? To make each
That
blog
too,
post
yeah.
thing
That's
a little bit different.
That's
So it
the
would
hard part. Yeah.
add a bit of complexity to the automation as it stands right now. Because right now it's like it grabs the title of the blog, it puts a colon, and it puts the link.
Mhm.
So adding randomization or flavor text around that might be a little.
I mean, is there a way to like automate having like new blog posts go into a buffer queue for editing or something? Like,
Yes, we can totally do that if we want.
because that seems
that
like
is
a way to be able to
totally
kind of split the difference a little bit, where like we see that they're there and then we can add that text and then it can be scheduled to be posted.
Mm-hmm.
I could do that.
Yeah, like it's
Option.
I have it open right now that we could basically send it to a queue as opposed to the actual buffer thing.
Because then, you know, if we can get alerted on that, we can add whatever text to it and then it can be
Mhm.
posted with whatever flavor text we want to add to it. But that means that we don't have to manually go check, you know, and also that
Mhm.
that it doesn't automatically get posted while boring.
Right. Like we can do this now, I think. Let me update things in Zapier. It's being weird, but yeah.
Actually, does it post it in the buffer queue as next? I think it does.
It does.
So I think if you have admin privileges, you could technically go in and edit them before they go.
Yes. So let me see.
If you know when they went in,
Oh,
and
crap.
then it varies how far they are from the post because it uses the buffer queue timing.
Yeah, but you can submit it as not add to queue, but you could say save as draft or schedule draft, right? Like
But then it won't just go. You'll have to
no,
make
it
sure that
won't.
you're on
We'll
top of
have to
things.
go in and change things. We should just expect that we need to do that. You know, it's like I remember we had some kind of reminder daily for me to check things at one point. Same kind of thing, right? Like
Timeliness versus voice.
right. Yeah. That's you know, some kind of
These are the
alert
considerations.
maybe that hey, by the way, there's a new blog post that sitting here in buffer ready to be edited kind of thing.
I feel like I get email alerts for better or worse every time something gets added to buffer. So like
Really?
yeah, that's what it
Ouch.
defaults to, FYI. I haven't changed it. So you can
Yikes.
actually set that alert up since it
Yeah.
sets itself up.
Okay. Cool.
It
I think-
also alerts you when it's empty.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
I
mainly see
have
the empty
that.
alerts.
I
Yeah.
have the empty alerts, yeah. Totally. But the
Yeah, it'll be like new thing posted to queue. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
oh dear God, I might have broken one of those apps. Whoops.
All right. This is good stuff for us to look into. We do have 22 minutes left in our meeting today. I'd love to hop through the board at this point, if folks
Yes.
are okay with that. Cool.
Yes. Let's see.
So that since we didn't go through the board last time, this is our last meeting of the year. It seems important to go through all of this. So
I did
folks
break
ready
this.
for
How
board
do I
hopping?
unbreak this?
Well, Chris figures that out.
Yeah. This could be. Let me just go ahead and create a new one.
I guess I'll make a note here.
Sign out of buffer. Anyway, I'm gonna put myself on mute.
Cool. Alrighty, so hopping into the board, the only item, because both of these are on the same thing essentially, is in ready for review is the SIG release blog. How's that going, Natish? Still stuck? Make any progress? Tish is unmuted, but I don't hear him, which happened earlier as well. Frederico, if you have any updates, also welcome to give them.
Yep. So last time we discussed this. I did. Nitish went on with some changes. I did an initial review and said that it looked fine, but there were other comments that still needed some addressing. But if that was okay with others, it was fine by me as well. Then Tim did a review and asked for Nitish to just check the publishing date with the release comms team because of the Kubernetes 129 release schedule and all the feature blogs as well, etc. Nitish brought the discussion to release comms, in which I also participated along with others. Give me 1 second, I'm getting a call.
Yep.
Sorry.
All good.
And long story short, the publishing date proposed was for January, first week of January, I think, because traditionally the Christmas and New Year period is low on readership. So
Yeah,
they
no point.
they mentioned that because it was either that or like the 22nd, because before that we have the feature blogs coming out. So that was where I left things, and this was a couple of days ago, like 2 days ago.
Cool. Sounds good. Progress being made. Thank you very much, everyone, for seeing this through. I know it can be a little tricky to get these blog posts all reviewed and everyone coordinated, especially when there are images and everything in here. So really appreciate all of the work that's gone into this and looking forward to seeing it hopefully in January. Let us know if you need any additional help. All right, so I will leave that there for now. And we'll move on to the in progress items. The first thing is the SIG Kate's Infra Spotlight blog post by Bishal. And Bishal has been very busy with school stuff and he hasn't been on for a while. I was saying last time that I should probably check in with him. So I don't believe anything has happened on this. He was trying to pick it up after KubeCon and A, but he's been busy and he's not on today. Okay, cool. Thank you. And so it goes. We're all volunteers here. So, and these spotlight blogs, there are so many of them. Sometimes they take a while. Sometimes they get dropped, and that's okay as long as we know the status. Cool. Next one is SIG Architecture Spotlight, which is your own, right, Frederico? How many parts of that do you have done now? Because you've broken it up into pieces. You're talking, but I can't hear you.
Yep.
There you are.
2 ready, 1 to go, but I wasn't able to clear the final one yet. So I'm picking this up against in January, because with the one that's next is from Gordon Levitt, and that there was a lot of, as you know, the release was this week, so everyone was deep into the release cycle. Well, now we have the festivities, and then in January everyone will get overburdened by all the stuff they didn't do in the festivities. But anyway, the goal is to try to push this to be published somewhere in January, and that actually applies to most other things. The book club as well. There are already answers there, but the final review and the publishing thing needs to be done, and I'm just getting back into contacting people after the release. So realistically, I think that early January we will have 1 or 2 of these being published. Excellent.
I would put a note on here that that's what we're going for, but I am apparently not logged in. So very good. Look forward to the SIG Architecture Spotlights in January. You can put a comment on here yourself if you'd like to, or we'll check in on it again in January. Thank you very much, Frederico, for doing that. You, as I said on your contributor award, which hopefully you will get soon, are an absolute boss who shows us how it's done with organizing work.
No kidding.
Thank you for that. Yes. By the way, is anyone here planning to go? Well, let's keep this at the end of the meeting.
Okay, keep going. We'll talk about
Yeah.
it at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one is also you, by the way, the book reading club. I think there's still no update on that.
No. It's the one that I mentioned. This is it's Carlos Santana. He started and he has content, but I didn't yet did another round of reviews with him. So I'll hope that it is working in the next weeks. I can get something that in January we can just open the publishing step.
Ooh, January would be a really good time for this because I feel like a lot of people set up New Year's resolutions around reading.
Yeah.
And I bet folks would love to join the book club in January.
Exactly. That's a good one. I'm going to
Mhm.
use that to insist. So yes, perfect.
Yeah. We can put some pressure on Carlos. Cool. Next one, spotlight on SIG Node. This is Arpit. Any progress, Arpit, on the spotlight on SIG Node?
Yep. Yep.
Cool.
So I have almost finalized the doc. I will complete it by today, and then I will share the link. Like I want to if anyone can review it before I send to SIG GS, because I actually I haven't talked to them since the last meeting I have done. Like that was K8's 1.28, and now 1.29 has released. So maybe I can ask them like how now they are going to do. But first, I will complete the doc today, and then if Federico can review it, like if that sounds right.
Sounds good. Yeah, I remember we had all those conversations about the sidecar cap, and they wanted it focused on that because that was coming out in 1.29. So it's out now. They still might want to focus on that because people aren't going to pick up 1.29 for a while. The reality of slow upgrade processes. Yeah, sounds like you're making some progress then. Very good. If you need any additional help, let us know. Cool. Annual report posts. Thank you very much, Sundapan, for the work that you've been doing trying to figure this out. You came into the SIG ContribEx meeting. Was that last week or this week? And we had like a whole discussion about how can we do this better in the future, which I think is an ongoing discussion. Do you want to give any updates about this, Sundapan? Oh, I thought Sundapan was on, but he seems to have dropped. But for context on this, the project has done a couple of annual reports in the past where some folks from steering did a lot of manual labor, like going through and summarizing the bits from all of the SIGs and then rolling that up to the CNCF, and then the CNCF announced it and did lots of nice press around it. But then for 2022, that didn't happen. The folks on steering didn't have the capacity to put in all of that work to summarize it. So the CNCF never posted about it. So the annual report kind of happened, but a lot of the pieces of it were also late. A lot of the SIGs didn't get their stuff in until kind of the end. So it's kind of all distributed, and we never really got around to doing our usual posts about the help wanted. So our usual job with the annual report is to help spread the word about help that the SIGs want, new contributors that they would like to see, new skills that they would like to add to their ranks. So Sundapan was taking on the work of going through and finding all of those disparate locations where that existed and writing up posts about it, but also it's quite late, so some of them might be out of date. And we were discussing how can we do this better in the future, assuming that steering is going to continue to not have capacity to do that full roundup. Is there a way that we can do that? So there's a whole bigger discussion going on here in SIG ContribEx for context. Any questions, comments on that before I move on to the next thing? Cool. I think I'll try to, Chris, we might want to try and sync up with Sundapan outside of this because he already wrote a bunch of posts and we should make sure that we make use of those. Oh, Ian too, actually, because you're social media lead, shadow Steph and Arpit also is. There's a lot of people who are interested in this. Maybe we should just start it as a discussion in the regular Slack to say, hey,
Yeah.
we
can at
should
least-
make sure to get those going.
We can at least do it there.
I
Yeah.
mean,
We can
when
think
is
about
the
that.
next annual report happening? At this point, has it been so long that like it's a moot point and we just skip them and then go to the next one? Because these
Has
are mostly
happened.
enrolled at this point, aren't they? Like not to be weird about it, but like
No, that's
Yeah,
happened
pretty
before.
much.
it's
Yeah.
been a minute, you know?
Yeah,
Mhm.
they should be, folks should be getting those together in the next few months, I would think. So, do I have to run that?
Congrats.
Yes, you do, Caslin. Congratulations.
You don't have to run it, but you definitely got to participate.
Your circus, your monkeys.
Oh man, why did I buy this circus? All right, I will post in the leads channel about getting that together, and we also need to get our maintainer track session in.
Other
Oh
than
gosh, yeah,
that-
same. That's soon. That's coming up.
Yeah, that's due by the end of the month.
Oh, Schneigi. Okay.
Yeah, and I haven't started, and it's my last day of work.
Yeah.
I'm technically going to work for 2 more
Yeah.
days before the end of this, so I'm gonna have to get that done one way or the other. It's gonna be a rough holiday season.
Do you need
right.
help?
Yes. We'll see
Fair
about
enough.
that later. We'll pass on that for now, and hopefully I will remember it to some degree later and put it on my to-do list. Let's try to get through these though. We have 9 minutes, which usually this last column is just like, and maybe next year. So just this last thing really. Establishing a process to prevent deduplication in LWKD articles. None of the LWKD. Oh no, FICA is here. So FICA, do you want to talk about this at all and how this is going? At a minute. Okay. FICA, if you would like to talk about what's going on with this issue in LWKD, welcome to unmute or put in chat at any point. I'll kind of read through here real quick. It looks like they've been making some progress on this. LWKD folks also an example of how to make regular progress. I feel like they do a good job. I don't think there was anything in particular for our group at large to help with on this, aside from, I mean, if you're particularly interested in automation, is this an automation thing? I think this was also related to the thing we were, that Mario was drafting up to grab updates from the release, the various projects. Sorry,
Right.
someone started to talk, I think. Maybe not. Okay. Yeah, I think it's related to that. A suggested approach here is create a central document or database where we can log and categorize KEPs, merge requests, or featured pull requests that have been discussed in LWKD so that they know what they've done already. Before starting work on a particular topic, check the document to see if it's been covered. If it's already been discussed, provide links to the relevant articles. I guess it's not really related to that. It's kind of its own separate thing.
I mean, they've got to create some kind of automated cataloging system so that they know they've talked about this before, right?
Yeah.
And you can't search for that when you have like 50, 60 links potentially, right? Like
Yeah, I
that's
was about
hard
to say.
unless you feed it that list of things and you tell it to go scrape the entire repository for it. I mean, that's
Yeah.
possible, but
Only replace the caps +1. Petition. All right. Well, that is something for the LWKD folks to figure out next year.
yeah, I mean, I can brainstorm with them if
Yeah.
needed.
Happy to brainstorm.
There's a lot of ways to do that. I'm sure Josh has plenty of database skills at his fingertips
Yeah,
if
disposal.
need be.
And ideas about how to do it probably as well. So I'll quickly go through the to-do items here, and then we'll pop over to open discussion items. Spotlight on SIG API machinery is open. By the way, this is probably a good time to say, I mentioned at the beginning of the call that our Spotlight blog series is one that folks are welcome to get started with. If you're new and you haven't done one of these and you're interested in doing one, you should reach out to us on Slack. This is also for YouTube. Reach out to us on Slack at SIG ContribEx comms channel, and particularly ping Frederico if you're watching this within a relatively reasonable amount of time of this, assuming that Frederico is still our blogging lead. But reach out to us on Slack, mention that you're interested in a SIG spotlight, and we'll help you get started. We have some resources in our repo on like how to write these. As long as the special interest group you're interested in interviewing hasn't been interviewed in the last like 2 years, it's free game. So just reach out to us on Slack and we'll help you get started. Yep. Anything you want to add, Frederico?
No, that's perfectly correct. And
Awesome.
one thing that I think we should discuss is obviously we have spotlights, which still have a lot of ground to cover. And I suspect that when we end that ground, even the ones that we did before are starting to be like 2 years old, 3 years old. So there's always some
Evergreen.
new stuff. There are sometimes there are new SIGs like SIG ETCD or however you want to call it. It's like kubectl and kubectl. I hear the different spellings, I suppose. But that one we did a recent article, right, for announcing it. But it would be interesting to do a follow-up in like 6 months or something. But I'm digressing. One thing that I think it's important is that we shouldn't pigeonhole ourselves exclusively in terms of the spotlight, right? There's a lot of ground to cover, and that's one of the topics that I think we should discuss more. What other things can we actually provide more ideas, starting points for people to just go out and do something by improving the examples that we have outside of spotlights.
Well, so we do SIG spotlights, but what about like sub-project spotlights? I mean, every organizational group can technically do spotlights, right? Like I feel like there's endless ground here. If that makes sense, right? Like,
certainly all sorts of topics that we could cover. Spotlights are a good way for us to kind of organize the effort, but the SIGs are a good way for us to organize it, but there's all sorts of things we could do. We only have 3 minutes left, so I'm going to run through the rest of these real quick. Guidelines for sensitive end user impacting comms. That is something that we would love to work on at some point. It's one of those things that's been on our to-do list for like multiple years at this point.
The next emergency will happen.
Interesting ideas here. I think we talked about this the first time you were on. I'm going to run through the rest of these real quick, and then we can talk more about that. Promote new contributor workshop content. That content is out now. I think they never did get the GitHub thing figured out, so I don't know. Maybe someday we'll do that.
Okay.
Notify comms team when a new issue is created. We would like better automation to do that. Part of our whole thing around how do folks get in touch with us. We have an issue template. Do we know when issues are actually created with that template is what this thing is about. Add all use cases for Zapier automation. Are we even doing anything with that at this point? Should I just get rid of that?
No, do not get rid of it because I do need to diagram it. Let me.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what was in there. I thought you wanted to do.
Yeah.
I'll leave it in to do. KubeCon EU 2024 tweets are going to be coming up. We're going to have to start that project in like January.
Yeah.
That'll be an adventure for us, Ian. Arpit has been through this a couple times. Natish has helped with it. Lots of folks in the call are familiar with the process, so it'll be fun. Figure out the status of Kubernetes IO. We're still trying to figure that out. And attempt to contact Kubernetes LinkedIn group owners. That is in progress. I would move that, but I'm not logged in. All right, so that's...
Well, let's see here.
We only have a minute left. I don't have anything after this, so I can hang out today. Any last minute items, though, folks want to talk about before we have to drop? We have a few seconds.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Yeah.
Yay, happy holidays.
We should talk about if you want to maybe have some discussion on this kind of topics in any possible contributor summits in KubeCon EMEA. I mean, we can pick this up on January, but I think it would be interesting to open a slot there for us to discuss things. If we have a core group of people that will be attending, I'm I'm doing my best to attend it. So it could be interesting to face be able to do some of the hard lifting of some of these topics.
Yeah, a calm sub-project meeting at the Contributor
Yeah,
Summit. We've never tried to do one
exactly.
of those.
That would be great.
It is something that we could do. I've vaguely thought about it before, but it's never
There
been
are
a
topics
big enough idea to actually
it
do.
would also likely involve people from the Docs project as well, right? Because of website and
And Docs
contributor
does a
site,
ton of
etc.
stuff.
Yeah, but we could organize something broad enough, but with specific topics that we want to discuss around the governance and the topics and the process, etc.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll think of it and present something on January so that we can discuss it.
Sure. There will be a contributor summit, by the way. The last couple of contributor summits, we've run a working session for trying to fix some issues with the contributor site, kates.dev. So we could kind of roll that into a more general thing, like you're saying here. Like the idea. The call for proposals for content for that will probably be open in like January. So I'll keep an eye on that for you because I attend those calls. I'm the lead for the contributor meet and greet, which is not called that anymore. The Kubernetes contributor community.
Yeah.
I was going to try to find the issue so that I can volunteer to do something there as well. So.
Oh yeah, please do. That is spinning up. We could particularly use some help with Day of Ops. I know you've done that before. Mario's interested in helping with that, so you could have some.
I can
there.
either do it as a supporting role or a leading role, whatever it's needed. If I'm there,
I think we could use some leadership there. If you don't
I'll
mind.
pop in the issue and put myself forward then.
I can't believe I didn't think to ask you earlier. We had this whole conversation. There was this one week where we were like, no one has Day of Ops. And I was like, can I do that and the MKBC? And everyone was like, no, co-chair of SIG ContribEx, you cannot do that.
No, that's not possible. Yeah. No, absolutely. Let me pop it. And if people agree, I can participate in some fashion list.
The deferred count is incredibly high on that.
Yeah, every time I hit this window to take focus away from it, it counts as a deferral.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You didn't click go, it's a deferral.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Ouch.
We're 2 minutes over. Anyone have
no,
any
bye-bye.
important
Don't defer more. So.
Oh, no. I mean, I can hang out for a little bit. I don't have any other meetings today, and that's what I'm going to do after this. And then hopefully maybe on my personal computer, work on that maintainer training session. Anything else folks want to discuss though?
No, just, well, happy Christmas if it applies, happy holidays, etc. Have a good year if I'm
Happy New Year.
see everyone. So, yep.
Wonderful. All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. See you all on Slack. Don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything. And we will see you in January.
Woohoo.
Bye, y'all.
See ya.
See you next year.